I got a lot to catch up
We are
on.
live on what is it? Wednesday. It's game day. It's game day.
It's the day the NBA died, Eytan.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm here. Well, Kawhi Leonard's only going to miss one game. This is
I don't know. It said maybe the rest of the series.
Oh, who is that?
Windy.
Woj?
I think that's from Windy, a LeBron's guy. In fact, I think LeBron sent his hitman out, to inject Chris Paul with the COVID virus, and then he hit Kawhi on the knee, a la Galooly.
Wow, this is what we're dealing with now.
Yes,
Jeff Galooly's out there. I'll tell you though, Brian Winded may be off on this one. All right.
Okay.
I think Kawhi's going to be back. Look, Kyrie Irving is coming back at some point in these playoffs. Danny Green, you buried the lead. Danny Green is coming back at some point. Now, look, we did have, and I'm not going to downplay it like it's nothing here, from Chris Paul to Kawhi Leonard. Hopefully you've been scouring betting lines out there if you do that, waiting for this stuff to come back up, or you were savvy enough to jump in. I mean, look, it's a 7-point line right now with it re-upped on the books, so you've lost all the value. But point being is that, yes, Chris Paul is out. The good news is that they're off for at least a week, we would think. And then, now look at that. It actually works out for Chris Paul's favor because Chris Paul needs to be out 7 to 10 days, depending on testing and protocol. And from there, you essentially have a Jazz win tonight. We can expect, until Brian Winded tells me otherwise, we can expect that the Clippers are going to come back with Kawhi and win that game at home. That's going to push it 7. So that helps. But right now, tonight, it sucks because there's no reason to watch the second game. So I'll concede that.
Right. At least we can agree on that.
Yes.
After the Sixers dispose of the Hawks to take a 3-2 lead, we can all go to bed.
Right. I'm definitely doing that. I'm out on watching that game now.
I thought you were in bed all last night. Eytan and I we were fired up about that game last night, going back and forth. And I looked at my
texts this morning. My phone was in my car. I went to a comedy club last night. It was his birthday. Yeah, and I'm watching this on a Tuesday. Can you believe that? I went out on a Tuesday.
Wow. Well, and it was also on Game 5, right? I mean, or Game 4. This was a pivotal one.
I know, man. I didn't see any of it.
Unbelievable.
It was horrible, man.
I hate to
you
do
missed
it.
the basketball game of the year.
That was an incredible
statement.
Well, I looked before my phone died, and I saw that they were up though. How did they end up losing the game? What happened?
Kevin Durant.
He happened.
49 points in 48 minutes.
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah, and Milwaukee actually played similarly to the Sixers in that second half, where they went from a team that was passing the basketball around, getting great shots. Giannis was dominating, going to the rim. Then they started to play hero ball, and their defense lacked, and they couldn't stop Kevin Durant.
Well,
yeah, it was really bad.
49. Dang. I mean, I ain't seen him do that in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm used to him going out and getting his average 30, 40, 30, 35 a game, but 49.
49. Yeah.
It must have really pissed him off.
Harden had nothing.
Really didn't do much, right?
He had nothing.
But he was
can't, man.
A lot.
Hamstring.
He had looks. It wasn't like he was just hobbling. I mean, he had looks and all, but he was forcing a lot of shots. So at that point, there really wasn't anybody else. Joe Harris, a lot of these guys are just product of it. Blake Griffin actually had a really good first half. I know they were down, but it could have been even worse if it weren't for guys like Blake Griffin and Harris.
Well, I'm looking at the numbers, man. I sold you down the river, bro. My fault, man. Wow. I said Harris was going to do all right. You should have went with Green like you said you were going to go. Or did you go with Green? By the way,
none of those lineups won much money. I mean, I lost money last night overall. But I knew that anyway going into a showdown slate because everybody wins and it's just all split up. But look, Kevin Durant, for all the people that have ripped him, criticized him, all the other stuff, that was now granted, we're talking about the second round, but that was one of these games where it was like nobody was around him at that point, helping him out.
Mm-hmm.
He had to do it. Now, look, to be fair, he was facilitating the hell out of the basketball. So let's not make it like nobody was scoring, but Durant was able to move the ball as well. I mean, that was total takeover. Takeover.
And Jeff Green, too, played an amazing game. I mean, he was unconscious.
Green was
38 points in the third.
Unconscious.
Well, that's the thing. I forgot that, Harry. Thank you. It was Blake Griffin and Jeff Green in the first half that did a ton to prevent it probably from being like a 30-point deficit.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. They scored 38 in the third, 33 in the fourth. Wow. The Bucks must have pissed them off, man.
Well,
they were hitting everything, huh?
They just couldn't. The Bucks were forcing, as Harry said, Bucks forced a lot of shots, a couple of bad looks. They also missed shots.
Budenholzer was not his finest moment, I'll tell you that.
No. Yeah, he got thoroughly outcoached by a guy who wasn't even coaching.
Right.
How do you get outcoached by somebody who wasn't even coaching?
Yeah. I'd say this Popovich tree is somewhat fraudulent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It started with Brown, didn't it?
That's exactly right.
It started with Brown.
Now, Ron's bailing on us, I'm seeing on the text board here.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Looks like Brendan's back in the house, though. That's good stuff, right?
Oh, so I sent a phone number to Ron Culver.
We've got Brendan in the house.
Well, I got to redirect that then.
No. Ron's standing right there.
Oh, okay. You're confusing me.
Well, he's leaving early.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, it's a game day. Wednesday right now as we are trying to get you ready here for any level of excitement. I mean, man, if you guys have a pivot, by all means, like, did somebody get cut on the Eagles or something? Because I think all of us agree. Look, we saw this already, right? Game 2, after they lose game 1, the Sixers come back, and the macro for Ben's micro, which is something's not working in the first half. Something changes at the half. They bounce back, and it works. I think this is what we're going to see on, as I said, a more macro level where the Sixers are going to bounce back in resounding fashion. It's at home in Philly. Come on.
Yeah.
Nobody really believes.
Who's ringing the bell?
Iverson, I think, right?
I'm not sure. Is that true?
They got to come back with somebody that's impactful, man. They got to bring in a heavy hitter.
I'm so out on the bell because of that. Because of you saying that statement, Barrett, and I'm not saying I'm out on you.
It's the truth, man.
But this is the problem that I have, man. Remember that stupid bamboo thing the Phillies had going for like 2 weeks, 2 years ago?
The bamboo. Oh, yeah, in the locker room, the little bamboo tree. Yeah.
The bamboo trees. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
remember Ricky Bo was talking all about it on NBC.
Right.
The big bamboo.
Right.
No, I think it was the big bamboo. I think they took that over, the big bamboo.
Oh, it's bamboo, not Bambino, but bamboo.
Yeah, not the great Bambino. But come on.
Why is it that we always have these things and then we grow sick and tired of them?
I'm out already.
I know. I am too. I am too.
You don't need it. That's the thing. Like, this is a 1 seed. You secured home court. You shouldn't be in this position in the first place. So now it's like,
I'm losing bets and everything.
I'm fired up, Allen Iverson, Joel Embiid on the court there.
See, the problem is we never have a reservoir that's big enough of personalities to engage in things like this. And then we always go back to the same old people. It's like a radio show using the same guests year after year after year after year. You're like, enough,
bro. With the Eagles had it all. They had it all going in the right direction. 2017. They had shrines to people. They had everything you want, man. Everything you need, they had it, bro.
Back at 3 on the network. No, I remember the Nick Foles shrine, Barrett.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
It helped, man. It helped. Then we had the dog mask too. I mean, it was great, bro. It was great, man.
That lasted for what? How many weeks? 2 weeks?
Yeah, and they won a Super Bowl with it.
And then we got tired of that too.
No, the dog mask. It was the ski masks that lasted 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay, yeah.
The dog mask lasted until the Super Bowl. The ski mask was like, something that, all right, we're out on that. We're not going to really get started with that. We're going to leave that alone. And it was gone in a blink. It got Kaiser Sosade. It was out.
Kind of like you last night.
Yo, I'm looking at these texts, man. You guys were on fire last night, bro. I'm mad I missed that.
It was the game of the year. We were telling you. What the hell? You should have stepped away from the comedy.
I was out on that because I was listening to some funny dudes, bro. It was pretty good, man.
Don't you get enough comedy on this show?
Right. But I got to be a part of it, though. I don't want to tell any jokes, man. I like listening to somebody tell jokes, man.
Oh,
Right. It was.
I got an email. I'm on this email thing list from the Philly.com writers, and they send out a little thing every couple of days about the Eagles. It's always about the Eagles. You know, even in June, it's about the Eagles.
Yeah, let's back.
And I was looking at the, you know, what they were trying to, you know, get me excited about, and it was position battles. And I'm like, how many position battles really are there? So I looked at the email. There's like 3. And you're even reaching because they're going Boston Scott for the second running back position. Are you serious?
Boston Scott.
That is a pretty good. That is a pretty good position battle. I mean, the running back position. Oh yeah. I mean, you look who's there.
Battle, but it's not a good. It's not like a good talent battling though.
Right.
Well, you know they got the kid from Detroit. What was his name?
Like the Auburn kid. He's got bad
Teron
knees,
Johnson.
Right? Yeah.
Carry on Johnson.
Yeah.
They got Carry on Johnson.
Right.
They got Boston Scott. You know, they got Dump Truck. You know, they love him here. They got Kenneth Gainwell, the rookie.
Well, right. I'd rather just have it.
Yeah.
I'd just rather just give it to Gainwell.
Yeah. Well,
I think you're fine with that.
Well, you know, if you look at it, man, he sat out last year, the entire year.
Yeah, I mean, he opted out.
I can't wait. That's another thing. I can't wait to see these players that opted out last year and come in to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, will they be up to speed enough to compete? Because it's hard enough transitioning from college to the NFL without, you know, with playing in a season and learning for a season, but then not playing for a whole season. I mean, this kid only played one season. But that one season was
pretty good. Yeah.
Over 1,400 yards, 600 yards passing.
All right, let's come back to that, though. I think that's
presented by
definitely
Rocket
get to that.
Mortgage.
Live from
That's
the
interesting.
O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios.
Interesting.
Here's Eytan Shander,
This is
Barrett
interesting.
Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Durant for 3. And the Nets lead for the first time since the opening minute when they were up 2-0.
Not only has he played every minute of this game, but he's been involved in most of the sets offensively, creating for himself or his teammates. Just so impressive, Marv.
And Durant on cue hits again. This is a classic game for Kevin Durant.
There you have it.
43 points.
Marv and Grant Hill.
Marv was good last night.
That's a younger Marv too, right? The son Marv, right?
No. That's Kenny.
Oh, that
was Kenny. Oh, okay.
Kenny's the son. Marv is Marv. There is no other Marv.
Right. That's the biter.
There's a Merv. There was Merv Griffin, but it's Marv Albert.
Right.
Marv.
Yeah. And the 3-man booth aside, it was just he and Grant Hill. I thought Grant did pretty good last night.
I did too.
Yeah, and Marv, I think, is definitely not the. He's a little subdued because he's up there, but he has this delivery.
Yeah.
And he's perfect too, to where like you hear the bucket, like that was perfect. Mm-hmm. You got the analysis, and that wasn't chopped up or anything. Now, granted, you know, we have the cut from the sheet, so somebody who took it, but that's real time there as far as like Marv with the great timing. So even if Grant Hill was a bumbling fool, which he's not, he was actually really sharp last night and on the money with a lot of analysis and kind of predictive analysis. Marv's going to make it work, but I like those two.
So do I.
Those two working together.
Yeah, so do I. I prefer the 2-man booth to the 3 when doing a game.
Oh yeah, you fall over each other if you do a 3-man booth. I don't like, you know, even when I do color analysts, 3-man is hard, man, because you don't know when to step in, when not to step in. You know, that's tough. And, you know, you got to be really good as a play-by-play guy to work with 3 people.
Now,
really
Breen does a fantastic job. Don't get me wrong. And that might be the best 3-man group as far as play-by-play guys around. Mark
Not
Jackson, Van Gundy, not the Blue Man Group. Are they still around? Are they still a thing in Vegas?
I don't know.
Yeah, they are in Vegas. Yes.
Yeah. Remember when they were the rage? Like they were huge.
All the rage.
Yes.
Yeah. That's like Jabberwockies. They were like the Jabberwockies. Now they were bigger than Jabberwockies.
What?
You don't know Jabberwockies?
Is that a
See, I got to school you guys again, man. Those Jabberwockies. No, they're actually a dance group.
Oh my God. Really?
Yes, a dance group.
From where?
I don't know.
You think I'm watching Dance Crew?
Wait a second.
Yeah, you guys don't watch Les Twins? Les Twins?
Lay Twins. Are they on the side
a dance
stage or the
group.
main stage?
They're the bro. They dance for all the heavy hitters like Beyonce.
Okay.
Yeah, they're dancing for
How
Beyonce.
would you know the specifics?
Because Jabberwockies, they dance with Shaq. That's how I know them.
Who?
They dance with Shaq.
Yeah, when did
Shaq
Shaq
Fu.
have dancers? Like back when he was rapping? Like
No, when he
with Jeff
like
Jeff?
the All-Star
I know I
game.
got
Look
real
up
fans.
All-Star game, Jabberwocky, Shaq. Look it up right now, man.
Oh my God.
That's a mouthful. All-Star Game, Jabberwocky, Shaq.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can even type that.
My Google search won't take that.
Jeez.
All right?
And then look up Les Twins and Beyonce.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are Les Twins. No, oh Joey B, come on, man.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get on Kendra Lust blues. We're
Right.
not doing it.
And look,
That's a good workout of Joey B on the stream. Though. I
he's
gotta
back,
give.
man. You know, that's what happens. Back from Hawaii and
Good morning, Mom. Oh, he's on fire already.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not even fused. I was fused last night.
Yeah,
I went with the Crown and Coke last night. There,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Crown and Coke, man. Yeah.
Yeah, clearly we were trying to get you to retweet under your blue check mark some things for the show, and that was uninfused. You were unenthused, but you were infused.
Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we were entertained. Now, did you guys hear what happened at the half? Did you
What?
see this or hear this? I know
with
Barrett
Charles?
returned. Yes.
Yes.
I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to win the world championship. I really do. But they got to be the dumbest team. They make, between stupid fouls and bad shots, not taking advantage of mismatches.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Still,
He's right.
But he's not right about them winning the world championship.
No. I'm talking about them being one of the dumbest teams and some of the things that they don't do well.
They have a terrible coach.
Yeah, he's awful.
He's got to get now.
They had a timeout to use last night, and they should have used it because they took another awful shot early in the shot clock late in that game that clanked off the rim and basically essentially lost them the game.
Yep. Yeah, it looked like a total loss right there. Total loss. And that's the thing. Now, Stan Van Gundy's out. This changes about, man. Changes about right now in the NBA. It's not just Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard out. Coach is going down now, too. You see this? 1 year in New Orleans, and he's out.
Wow,
man.
It's cutthroat down there.
Wow, it's tough.
Well, somebody
don't hate to do it to you. Believe that.
Somebody needed to take the fall for a bad season. Now, I'm not saying that he's a fantastic coach. I'm just saying a lot of things happened on purpose. You lose Anthony Davis a year and a half ago, right? Like guys aren't improving fast enough, but still Zion's been hurt a bunch. Ball was hurt too. I don't know. Just saying that it wouldn't be surprising to me if we saw at the end of this series Milwaukee lose and Budenholzer is either out or there's significant reports that come out that say this is it for him.
Yeah, I would concur with that. And the other thing is, because you brought up Charles Barkley, did you see that Barkley is getting frustrated with the folks at TNT because he says they can't have fun anymore, and he's probably going to leave.
Whoa,
yeah,
you gotta have fun, man. You gotta have fun.
So they're trying to stifle Charles.
You can't stop that creative
what's
juice.
Fun
man.
though. What's he talking about?
Well, I mean, I think, remember when they used to say about those big old women down in San Antonio? It became a running joke on the show, and they just kept on doing it. Like they're telling him they don't want him doing that anymore, and a bunch of other stuff.
Well,
the political correctness has just like invaded now. They're trying
hold on a second.
They're trying to, stifle Charles.
What's the other stuff though?
Well, you want me to put a list together?
No. I thought that he said something. That's all. Like I thought that there's something out there.
Fun as in they want to
I don't
stick
like
the
to dive
basketball.
into the pool and it works both ways for everybody. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I'd give Chuck the benefit of the doubt on the flip side too if TNT came out and ripped him. I'm just saying, like, is it just that? Meaning like only just that?
All right, I'm going to look. I have here Sports Illustrated's Twitter feed at SI Now. Charles Barkley sounded off after Turner higher-ups put an end to his long-running joke mocking women of San Antonio. and then there's a link to an article. I'll pull up the article and see if there's any other references.
No, because I'm curious, like, if there's stuff on the show that they were doing that they thought was too much, if his bits or ideas of content have been shot down, or if there's stuff that's like they were making fun of Kevin Herter and somebody up top was like, you can't do that, stuff
Right.
like that. I'm genuinely curious. I'm not downplaying it. If it's just that one thing, then while I would disagree with TNT doing that, do you think it still warrants him coming out and playing like, oh my God, I'm being stifled? It's
Well,
like,
maybe this is a negotiation tactic from Charles. I don't know.
I think it's more so he just wants to be able to say whatever the heck he wants to say. Like kind of
And
what we
that's
do
why
on this
you
show.
want Charles Barkley. You
Well,
want him to be able to
that's
say
the sole
those things,
purpose.
right?
Yeah, that's the sole purpose. What you want from him. You know what I mean? You're going to get everything from Charles. It's like you get everything from the middle. Oh, that's good work by you, Joey B. He left for 22 days, and all 3 vehicles started. He must have plugged them up. Because let me leave for 2 weeks, and none of my cars will start.
Are you serious? Why is that?
I don't know. Gremlins, I guess. Or it might just me in my handiwork, with me working on them.
Jeez.
well, I didn't know that.
That was a non sequitur if I ever heard one.
All right. Well, speaking of which, I did see on Twitter that you watched an episode of Black Mirror.
Yes, I did. Yesterday afternoon.
Now we're going to take a break in about 30 seconds here. And
I saw the episode you wanted me to see too.
Which one?
The Black Mirror on with the hamster, with the gerbil or whatever it is.
Crocodile. At the
Oh,
end.
you watched
Crocodile, yeah.
Crocodile. I
Now,
watched the other one.
Okay, don't say anything here.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to be interesting because I want Harry to watch. All right, we're going to have to figure this out here, right? We're going to have to break in a second, but I want Harry to watch Crocodile, but I also want to hear what Barrett has to say about it without giving away what the episode's contents are. Can that happen? Or should we not talk about Crocodile until Harry?
No, I can do it. I can navigate it for you.
All right, I trust you, Barrett. That's why I bring this up. Okay? Is that fair? Did you
Let's
lose?
make it happen.
All right. Now you're listening, watching the JAKIB Media YouTube page, live and local from the Fritz and B and Cooley Law Studios here. Now, a reminder: if you do know someone who suffered a personal injury, contact Brian Fritz directly, a tough lawyer for a tough town. The Middle here, sponsored by Pure Bull Beef Jerky. Get yours now. Go to steersnacks.com. We ask one thing: you leave us a like, you subscribe to the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, and you hold tight on SportsMap Radio.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
In the Wildwoods, our free beaches are spacious and welcoming with plenty of room to spread out. Your seat will be waiting for you when you're ready to visit. The Wildwoods, creating cherished family memories for generations.
Attention women of South Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Sign up right now with Our Lady NRA instructor, Nayara Andrzak, who will teach you gun safety as part of this 3-hour safety class, which is being held at Delaware Valley Sports Center in Philadelphia. For information, drop an email to info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. That's info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. Learn the fundamentals at Delaware Valley Sports Center. You can't miss.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Book It.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
All right. So, what are your
Black Mirror?
Oh, no.
Oh,
We've got about 25 seconds or so. So, give us the quick thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, it was deeply disturbing in my view. Depressing, dystopian nightmare is how I described it, and it was hard to watch. It really was.
Which
it was
one
a
was
big
this one?
surprise at the end. I'll give you that. I mean, it shocked me.
Well, that's what I think
Here's
truly is.
Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
So Harry finally gets around to watching my favorite show ever on television. That's not a comedy. Well, I shouldn't say that because The Wire and the other stuff.
This is no comedy.
No. This is no comedy, and nor is this anything that you can really put into it. Now, my favorite episode in the entire series, Barrett watched. So we can't rip him, or at least I refuse to rip this man for missing the game of the century last night because he actually sat down and watched an episode of Black Mirror. He is absolved, at least in my book.
I watched a couple of them, actually.
Oh, my God. Oh, see, Harry. All right. So have you not seen White Bear, the one that Harry watched?
Which one's White Bear? I don't know the names of them. It's just
the one in which the woman is trapped, living the same life over and over again,
Day after day, and they follow her around with the cell phone cameras. Everybody's filming her.
No, I didn't see that one.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about the game show one. I thought you were talking about the game show.
Yeah, game show one is I think a lot of like me on Twitter is your boy from Get Out.
Yeah.
System, and then finally being brought into it. But here's the thing. Looking at White Bear, I'm just curious because you've seen a couple, so you're now fully inundated of the show. But this is Harry's first experience into the show, and I wanted you to watch one of these top episodes for me, Harry, because not only is it a mind bleep as far as how it ends, but it's such like we're like not even 20 years or 50, we're like 2 years away from this. We're like,
I think we're in this.
Yeah.
I really do. And it was disturbing in that way. It was dark. The whole dystopian type of setting. But I got to admit, it was 48 minutes. I think it wasn't an hour and a half like you had led me to believe.
It's the last one in each season is the longer ones. That's
okay. But it was like 45 to 49 minutes, and I got to be honest, it flew by.
Yeah.
I mean, I was deeply locked into it.
Yeah.
And then they surprise you. I mean, they like whack you across the head in this episode where I'm like, oh my God. So in that way, I was blown away by it, and I guess that's a good thing. But it was just so dark and disturbing that I kind of felt a little uncomfortable.
That's what it's meant to do, though.
I guess.
Like that episode alone, it's like you're watching this woman live this life of torture throughout every day of her life, and then you find out that it's a prison sentence because she committed one of the most heinous acts you could possibly commit.
Right.
And she's sentenced to live this life of terror one day at a time until her sentence is literally crossed off and she's done. Right.
Yeah. They X out the days of the calendar and stuff. And it's crazy.
And what happens is they turn this into an amusement park.
Right. It was like a game show almost.
Yes.
Or an amusement. Yeah.
An amusement park. And you're told ahead of time, like you're told at a zoo or like you're told at an attraction, a circus or wherever it may be. Like,
don't get too close.
Exactly.
Right.
Film everything. And it's like,
don't feed the animals.
No. And at one point you're thinking to yourself, these people who are there participating in this are monsters. And then at the same time, you're thinking, well, what about the person who committed the crime in the first place to be in that situation? Like, how much sorry can you truly be? It's
Right.
really, and it's done on purpose. It's done with these major statements, but I think it's meant to tear at you. And look, I told you, it's going to wear on you.
Yeah.
It's going to wear on
I couldn't watch the other. I was going to watch Crocodile. I had
no.
all intentions of watching both. And after that, the White Bear, I'm like, I'm out for the night. I need some basketball.
Here's the thing, and Barrett's going to tell you this. Crocodile is better than White Bear, and you are going to feel like you're going to need a nap. Like you're just going to or like you're just going to need to walk out and like just get outside. Like it's an episode of television that is so utterly compelling, yet is so difficult to watch. It's crazy.
Great. I can't wait.
Bro, all I'm gonna say is, I mean, they take a woman that, you know, just a regular old nice woman that just turn her into a fiend, just a really, really bad lady. I mean, it's crazy the stuff that she does, man.
Is she one of those big old women from San Antonio?
No,
no,
she's one of those skinny women from Iceland. It looks like.
Okay.
Right.
Like Bjork.
Yeah, I mean, she just is meek and normal at first, and then when you see what she becomes, you can be like, damn. I mean, you can't. You know, she hated to do it to everybody. Put it like that.
Really?
Yeah. It's and again, it's all about this piece of technology, the recaller.
Yeah.
And how everybody's brain is essentially photographic at this point. And if you've seen something, you are a liability. And it unfolds, right? It's like House of Cards coming unfold.
Well, what was the Schwarzenegger movie from the 80s?
Total Recall.
Total Recall. That I got a little bit of that from the episode I watched.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's like that. It's like they the box that they use is you can't not do it unless you want police involved, and you do it, and police it's crazy because you really don't have a reason not or a reason to do it, but you have to do it, but you don't want to do it,
right?
But it has to be done. It's crazy how they make
and then you hate to do it.
Yeah,
exactly. All the and yeah, I'll help you just with a couple of details without giving too much away. It's all with this piece of technology that's used by insurance agents, that's used to validate insurance claims. So,
but it was outlawed by police enforcement, though. They can't use it. Police enforcement can't use it.
Correct. Good pickup on that episode.
Yeah, they can't use it, but the insurance
locked in
can.
on this, man.
Yeah. Oh man. And how about you talk about a twist at the end? Now again, it's gut wrenching to have to go through that. But you mentioned the hamster. Then come on, that's some serious writing right there, Barrett.
And the child being blind. I mean, that's just
Don't say too much now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
All right. Well, Ryan Neff on the stream
We're
says
good.
it sounds like we're describing the Hawks Sixers series in code.
No. This thing is over. All right. You won't need any subtle twists or anything like that. This thing is. Look, I'll tell you this. I don't know what's going to happen Game 6, and we'll talk about Game 6 once Game 5 happens. I don't want to get too far ahead of it, but look, the reality is that Game 5 is going to happen, and the Sixers are going to win tonight. And then we get into this big conversation about Game 6. Like, I think the Sixers, to be honest, have two paths here, right? They can clearly go out and handle victory tonight and go out and knock off Atlanta in 6 games. And we kind of look back and say, all right, Game 1 was the anomaly in this series, and they did get one. Like, they got one at home. Okay, fine. Like, you kind of hand it to that. It's kind of like Sixers on the books in 6, but in reality, it's kind of like 5.5.
Yeah, right.
If they lose Game 6 and this sucker goes 7.
Hey.
I hate to do it to you if we have to go 7.
Well, we got Tom Byrne coming on in a few minutes to talk NBA from SiriusXM NBA channel and Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Right.
One of our former colleagues.
A colleague of all three of ours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he going to give out any plays?
Maybe. You can mine him. We'll let you ask one of your mining questions.
Nah, I'm good.
He tries to sugarcoat it too. He tries to sneak it on him a little bit. Yeah.
No. I got some good soccer stuff. I had to live bet the hell out of Russia today. Man, I tell you, there were 2 really bad. Now, there's a difference between a bad beat and just a bad loss, right?
Mhm.
So yesterday, no goals. The total was 2.5 in this Portugal-Hungary game. 84 minutes into the game, you get a goal. And you're thinking, all right, you're riding under 2.5, no problem. Then right after that, Ronaldo scores. So it's 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah. Now you're approaching injury time. All right.
Right.
2.5, 3 minutes of injury time, and you're just finished sweating out and under 2.5. And this guy comes in again, Ronaldo, and he bolts one in on injury time, and it goes over 2.5.
There you
Now,
go.
that was brutal.
That's
I got
a bad
the
one.
same way on a halftime, full-time ticket today with Russia, Harry.
Wow.
Injury time. Russia breaks the tie in the first half. I had a tie and then Russia halftime, full-time ticket, and Russia breaks the tie 2 minutes into injury time in the first half. If it wasn't for me live betting Russian ping pong this morning, I'd be pretty upset.
Live betting a fixed sport. I love that.
Well, here's I found something out for you. All right, I'm going to tell you this real quick. Nobody else knows about this, okay? You watch these ping pong matches, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The guy who wins the first set, look what happens after, or loses the first set. It's a very simple code here. Drop the first set, win the second set, positive money, bet him. All right? Drop the first set, win the second set. If he's plus money, bet him. There you have it. It worked. It's working for me more often than not. I'm in the 60%
You found the
clip.
formula.
I'm in the 60% clip here with these, okay?
Harry.
Yeah.
How the hell do you find ping pong games in Russia?
Well, it's on his betting app. I've known about this since last year. The Philly Godfather was all over it.
Oh, man.
That's crazy to me.
You think Russia's just fixing elections and soccer games?
No, they're fixing
Ping
soccer
pong.
games too.
That's right. All right. Tom Bird's going to join us coming up next. All here on the middle. Oh, man. Oh, man. How about Brooke Lopez last night?
Yeah, but those threes.
So all day he sat at it was minus 180, and it moved all the way up to minus 250.
And what was the number?
Over a half a three.
Oh, wow.
So I was really tempted at minus 180. I was really tempted to just take $1,000 or something, right? Just destroy that. Just destroy it. So then it moves right before tip. It moves to over 1.5 threes. And guess what? At plus 130. What the hell is that? So I just smashed that instead. I saw Joe Tanzi from The Gambler hit Brooke Lopez 3+ threes at plus 3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's a smaller market that not enough people are paying attention to. Brooke Lopez threes. Went 3 and 3 last night in the props, but all the positive ones hit. So take that for what it's worth. I have it down to 6.5 now.
The point spread for tonight.
Yeah. I have 5 different tickets anchored with this Sixers money line.
Do you just keep all the money in just one account and you just use that account just to bet with?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Well, I was doing the show with Fox Bet for a while, right? So it was just easy to have everything in Fox Bet. I did have money in Barstool for a little bit, but it took me so long. I told you how ridiculous it was to withdraw money. Although I will say I've been getting capped a little bit now. They're
on to you.
Well, I've been making some bets out of betting pattern because I'm tailing my buddy here who does a lot with soccer. And I told you I did really well in the French Open, just tailing him. It's amazing.
Do you ever take out the account or you just leave it in there?
If I take it out, it's to replenish my DFS account because I get my ass kicked a lot in that.
He just moves money to another account.
No. I don't. I really only use one book now. It's stupid, I know, but I have a lot of money in this one because I was using it for Fox Bet the whole time. Like I had to use Fox screen caps for Fox, so that's why I had to do that. Look, Scotty Brooks out.
Scotty Brooks. Won't see him no more.
He's gone.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
He'll probably resurface with another team. He's one of those retread guys.
No, you know what? He's one of those guys that, after they're just so bad that they're starting from scratch and they need somebody to take the blunt of all those blows. He's that guy. He's that guy that a fan base could just say, "Oh, I'm out on him," and they'll be good with it. So they get all their first round draft picks, kind of like what they did Brown.
Yeah.
And once they build all their first round draft picks, then they'll, when they start looking like they're going to get better, then they'll fire
Then they
them.
blow him out.
Yeah.
Sounds ready.
This is The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right. Well, it's been a long time since I think all three of us have had an on-air, unless Harry is sneaking visits on this man's Sirius XM show without telling us. I think it's been a long time since the three of us collectively and individually have had on-air conversations with Tom Byrne, our own, meaning Philadelphia's own. Tom.
Yeah, well, I haven't had any conversations with him, but I've heard him on the Sirius XM NBA and of course the Mad Dog Sports Radio. But I haven't had a personal interaction with him in so long that he blew out my phone number from his phone and didn't even know who I was when I was efforting him for the show today.
Wow, Tom.
That's how long it's been.
Would you like to respond first and foremost to that accusation, sir?
Well, first and foremost, I admit I'm a moron. While I can come up with all the statistical models you need, I cannot figure out iCloud. So every time my dumbass walks into my pool with my phone in my pocket, I'm down another $800, going to get another phone and starting over with the contact. So I do have a legit excuse. And by the way, I'll be more than happy to put you guys to work. I let my producer do all the booking. I'm lazy like that. But I will be flipping my numbers to him, so expect a couple calls.
Well, do you even have our numbers, to be fair?
He has mine.
He has mine.
No, I know you do. It was a joke. Jeez, guys. Did you not hear what he just said about the pool? This is what I deal with, Byrne.
I did check, Eytan. I still have your latest number, whichever one that is.
Well, to
I
be
think you
fair,
got about
yeah.
5 different numbers.
Yes, it's true. I do change my number. Oh, that was my old life where I had to change.
Yeah, when he had burner phones.
Right. When I used to text, I text him for I text him for like a month straight. The wrong phone.
We were doing a show. He was texting me a month straight. He was texting another number, Tom.
I'm glad to hear things haven't really changed much since when we were hanging out. That's great.
No, not at all. Now Tom right now is burning his hide down at the Jersey Shore right now. He's red as a lobster. That's why he didn't want to come on visually. He's going to have to, we have to wait until that burn cools off. It's not Tom Byrne. It's burned Tom Byrne today on the show. But I got to ask you, Tom, all these injuries in the NBA was last night or this morning, the day the NBA playoffs blew up. What's your take on all these injuries?
Yeah, first and foremost, these 10 to 12 minutes outside from under my umbrella are going to cost me. So keep that in mind. This is a sacrifice. There's no question. But as far as today is concerned, oh, my God, I couldn't believe it. First of all, I'm annoyed because I didn't get the Kawhi Leonard alert. Didn't get the alerts. I wanted to hit Utah at 2.5.
Nope.
Now I'm looking at 7.5. That's a major difference. He's worth about 5 points. He's been phenomenal. Paul George has played better, but you got to think Utah's in control now. I actually think Jazz basketball has been a little slept on all year. They've been phenomenal. I know they don't have a typical, top 5 to 10 dominant player in the world. As great as Mitchell is, Gobert is, guys don't really look at them that way, and they are the Jazz. But this team has been consistently dominant from the get-go. That's why I had them representing the West even before the Kawhi injury. Think about it. Mike Conley hasn't even played in this series. So who knows when he returns. Yeah, the Kawhi news is big. Stan Van Gundy, that's not a huge surprise. And also, don't forget about Chris Paul. I mean, my God, he just gets back from the shoulder injury in terms of being closer to 100%. And now it looks like he might have to miss the entirety of the Western Finals. What a morning.
No question, man. And Tom, looking at the, both sides of this country, man, the East and the West. How did it flip like this? How did the East become such a dominant force in the playoffs when I'm looking at the West? I think right now the East are, probably the better teams in all, going into this into the playoffs.
Yeah, listen, the East has always been very good. I mean, I know a lot of people like to crown the West before the fact, and I get it. LeBron's in the West, and they're the Lakers, and they're always going to get the discussion. And Utah's been great, as I mentioned, and we know the Clippers have talent. But the reality is Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn. Those three all year have been as good as anybody. Brooklyn, when they're healthy, guys, you know this, is the best team out there, but they just can't stay healthy. And they also can't defend, although you wouldn't be able to tell in this Milwaukee series. I think that's as much about the Bucks and what they're not doing than it is Brooklyn all of a sudden being better on the defensive end. The East definitely has a chance to win a chip. Guys, it's there for the taking for Philly. It's such a shame that Embiid's dealing with this torn lateral meniscus. Let's hope it's less excusable, but let's hope he just stunk in that second half last game and that it's not a situation where all the attrition is killing that right knee. Because if that's the case, they're in trouble. If he just struggles, then it's not that big a deal. Because one thing about Embiid, man, he is the type of dude. He's going to turn around now. He'll listen to Capella talk about Embiid being fatigued and not the same player when he is fatigued. That's not even all that spicy trash talk. But Embiid would take that personal. Just like he did in Game 2 when Capella threw the lob down. And on the next play, I think Embiid picked up Capella and dunked him. He loves that sort of thing. So I think Embiid's going to be in for a big, big game in Game 5. Philadelphia has as good a chance as anybody right now. It's almost as if who can stay healthiest is going to win this thing.
Yeah, and the problem, though, is that with the Sixers, it's not like, okay, you're coming back from an injury, just get back. Like Kyrie, just get back from the ankle. Chris Paul, just get back from the COVID, the positive test. Or Kawhi Leonard, just get back from this injury. The problem that we have is Embiid can come back, but we still have this threat that hovers of any given moment, any given game.
Yeah, I know. It's awful. Embiid's an historical grade. He really is, but it's frustrating because he just can't stay healthy. Now, that's not necessarily his fault.
No, not at all.
Right. I mean, Anthony Davis, same thing. I give AD credit for trying to cut it out, but that didn't work out. You know, he's got a big frame, and he's always injured. But when he does play, it's as dominant as anybody. So hopefully they can continue to manage this. And you guys know this. You've been watching all year. This team's legit. They finally surrounded Embiid and Simmons with some shooters. The series really flipped when Doc Rivers came to his senses. What he was doing with Danny Green, who's 98 years old, on Trae Young in the first half of Game 1, I'll never know. Then finally, somebody told him, hey, Doc, we have two of the elite perimeter defenders in the sport. Why not throw Simmons and or Thibault at him? And since that point, Trae Young really hasn't been as great. I mean, it's all relative. But even last game, people were celebrating Trae Young, and I get it. He had 18 assists. But he had 25 points on 26 shots. Philadelphia will take that. Philly is clearly still the elite team in this series. I'd be surprised they don't win and cover tonight. But like you said, Eytan, there's always a chance that Embiid could be grabbing at his right knee, take a trip to the locker room. And if that's the case, our hopes are pretty much sunken.
Yeah, now even Trae Young, prior to the last game, has some mysterious shoulder ailment that nobody knew about. But follow Tom Byrne on Twitter at #1 Tom Byrne, and catch him on SiriusXM NBA post-game shows and also on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Now, Tom, I got to get your take because we haven't talked in a while on Ben Simmons, one of the more frustrating yet super uber talented players in Philadelphia and in the NBA. Tremendous defensive player, maybe the best in the league outside of Gobert. But offensively, you'll see him, in flashes, be able to take over a game a la Giannis or even like a LeBron getting to the rim, but refuses to shoot. What's your overall assessment of Ben Simmons?
I'm pro Simmons, but at the same time, it's frustrating because the thing that bugs me is he's not the best version of himself. If he would just be more aggressive and trust himself around the rim more, he would be a top 10 player in the world. What can he do outside of not shoot the ball? I mean, he does everything else at an elite level, but he has no trust in himself. And what I can't stand is we've seen him in the past. Game 3, for example, third quarter. He puts his head down, gets to the rim, and dominates without taking any mid-range or, of course, three-point shots. But he doesn't even allow himself to do that more times than not. I just don't get it. That said, guys, I would change the way the Hall of Fame runs things because I think they let way too many people in. But under the current rules, I don't see how Ben Simmons doesn't make the Hall of Fame. Think about that. I mean, he's already been all NBA. He's already been defensive, first team. He's already made 3 All-Star games. Unless he has a major injury, he still has about 8 to 10 years of prime basketball. He's going to make double-digit All-Star games. You are an absolute stone-cold lock. I mean, you got idiots out here saying Andre Iguodala's a Hall of Famer. Think about that for a minute. Ben Simmons is going to be a Hall of Famer. So I do think that sometimes we need to step back and remember what we have here. But I do get the frustration at the same time because he's not the best version of himself. because for whatever reason, he does not want to dominate offensively when he seemingly has the capability of doing so.
Go ahead,
do you think at this point that that this Sixers team is complete enough to take it to another level, to beat any team in the East?
Yes, unless Brooklyn's 100% healthy, Barrett, then I think they have a major issue. But it doesn't appear Brooklyn's going to be 100% healthy. Now, we know Philadelphia's not going to be 100% healthy, but the difference is we've seen Joel Embiid outside of one half dominate despite the injury. We saw James Harden come back, and Harden was absolutely horrific. How Steve Nash even played him 46 minutes is beyond me, but that's also telling Mike Budenholzer and company didn't do enough to take advantage of Harden on the defensive end. But Kyrie, that's a high ankle sprain. Who knows if he's going to be 100%? I would expect him to play in the Eastern Finals, but that's going to be a problem for them. So considering that they might even have worse issues than Philadelphia, of course, in the injury department, I think Philadelphia could beat anybody in the East, whether it's Milwaukee, and they've been horrific for the most part in this Brooklyn series, or Brooklyn, just based on the idea Brooklyn's got too many injury concerns.
Here's the one thing that I am outside of injury, and I think that we look at the Sixers, what they've accomplished. Clearly, 3 guys in the top 10. You could probably argue top 7 defensively in the NBA right now. Doc Rivers has them believing, and everybody's playing like, especially the starting 5, like a cohesive unit. But I'm concerned that it's not so much injury. It's like what we saw in that fourth quarter. If Tobias Harris or Seth Curry are taken out of a basketball game, you are really down to like 1.5 dudes who can create their own shot and get buckets. And that's a problem for any team, Tom, deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's always the issue when your best players are big, right? No doubt about it. Even Denver found that out, and Nikola Jokic is a facilitator more so than any other 5 in the league. But even still, without that second primary creator, they found themselves in major trouble. Now, Philadelphia, listen, Seth Curry strayed a little bit, not that much. Tobias Harris isn't bad. To your point, the end game scenarios are a little tricky for Doc Rivers and company. But that said, they still got a good look last game. I mean, they got Doc did a nice job getting Embiid going to the rim, and he just missed the bunny. And I don't know what Jake Milton was doing on that final play. They obviously drew something up on the prior timeout when they were looking to see who was out on. Jake was just going to run the play no matter what, apparently, because, man, he had a wide open look, and he gave it to Seth, who obviously had a double clutch. But to your point, anytime you have a big, you can't just give him the ball 75 feet away from the bucket and say, all right, go get us 2, big fella. You got to get it to him in his spots. So it is a little trickier for Philadelphia in that respect, and that's when Tobias Harris has to step up his game, because that's not where Ben Simmons is going to help you because of everything we already discussed, most especially his lousy free throw shooting.
All right, Tom, what's the beverage of choice on the beach today, and what SPF do you have on currently?
White Claw.
Well, the beverage of choice is the water to go along with a couple gummies, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Well, it's legal, right? Is it legal in Jersey?
Oh, that's true. I guess. Well, I don't think it is yet, but it's on the way here in Jersey. So that's
it is.
It is. Barrett says it is.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, in that case, well, gummies for everybody then. I'm just
Tanya, you can always stop back home in PA too, and you can get them for days. All right. They don't have gummies at the dispensary; they have pills, and they work.
Pills. Okay.
Yeah. Well, now the conversation's going in the other direction. The cards, are they the real ones? So we got to get Philadelphia and Pennsylvania up on the times, man.
I agree.
What are you talking about? I have a legalized card I'm up for my renewal right now. I just got a text today for a renewal. It's down the street for me. I walk in, I walk out. They've got curbside service here, Tom. It's easier to get a bag of Bud than it is to get a Big Mac.
Well, like I said, I got your number, Eytan.
So SPF 50?
Yeah, 75 I'm working with.
Wow. Look at that. See?
No,
wow. 75.
Jesus.
My God. Are you unable to get any sun at all on you? Are you?
Actually, I can a little bit. But
I know you're Irish, but my God, sir.
Hey, man, it takes some time for some of us, by the end of the summer, I might look half decent. But
Miss you, Tom. Miss you, man.
Yeah, great stuff, man.
Can we do this again, but see you when you're back from the beach?
You'll lose viewers if they're going to look at my ugly mug.
No, trust
problem.
me.
No.
If they're already here for us, you
Right.
All right.
I mean, gee whiz.
Come on. All right, brother.
I mean, geez, this is what we're going to do now? I got to listen to Harry Mays, Eytan Shander, and Tom Byrne? Oh, my God.
Yeah,
gee
next time you see Dog, ask him about the Yule log. All right. I used that as my intro way back. He was on the air ripping a you-know-what out of me to Torrey, saying we were better off playing the Yule log than Shander. But
well, it's a different world now. You guys know that. I haven't been to New York in literally about 6-7 years.
That's
It's
true.
crazy.
That's true. Awesome. All right. So when are you on next? So let people know on your way out here because we have to break.
I'll be on tonight, but after the game's end, replaying all the way up through 7 a.m. Eastern time, each and every Monday through Friday. Weekend, Mad Dog Sports Radio, 7 to 11 Eastern time.
Great stuff.
Wow.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, Tom.
All right. We're back in
There
three
he is.
across the board here. Good stuff. It's the middle.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull beef jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
In the Wildwoods, our free beaches are spacious and welcoming with plenty of room to spread out. Your seat will be waiting for you when you're ready to visit. The Wildwoods, creating cherished family memories for generations.
Attention women of South Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Sign up right now with Our Lady NRA instructor Nayara Andrzak, who will teach you gun safety as part of this 3-hour safety class, which is being held at Delaware Valley Sports Center in Philadelphia. For information, drop an email to info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. That's info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. Learn the fundamentals at Delaware Valley Sports Center. You can't miss.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Book It.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 to 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
All right.
That was classic.
Yeah, man.
Great, man.
Hey guys, are you guys going to the Ron Jaworski golf outing? It's on the 28th.
Never knew about it.
Yeah, it's on the 28th.
I don't think we get invited to the same stuff you do, man.
Nah.
I would say try to get the show on, but
What day is it?
that's the 28th.
28th?
Yeah.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Come with me to the parents' party.
Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, we only have about a minute or so till the second hour begins here. At least on the network. Well, we have a little longer than that on the network. I see good stuff by Tom Byrne, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got to have him on again.
Yeah.
Got to get him on the visuals. Stream was clamoring for the visuals.
Right. We had a little issue with his volume early on, but we'll get him back on. And
He's on the beach, too.
Yeah, it's true.
We're getting everybody. Everybody's on vacation except for us, huh?
Yeah, and
living life.
I don't trust he has an updated phone. This is a guy who doesn't know how to transfer his contacts. He's probably working with like an iPhone 7.
You think he's even got the iPhone? I'm thinking flip phone.
Could be. The old Razor, the Motorola Razor.
The Motorola Razor, or maybe the LG. I used to have an LG flip phone back in the day. Yeah.
Look at you flipping. You're all flipped up.
That's right.
All right. All right. Now, why don't you go? What was that thing that we had that Philly.com sent you about the position battles?
Oh, for the Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I await the start of Wales and Turkey right now, a minute out. Look, you might as well jump in right now. Wow. Wales to win or draw, K Moore to score. That's plus 320. All right. I'm just look. All right.
All right.
Mother Russia was great to me today, by the way, from ping pong to soccer. Thank you.
I mean, Biden's meeting with Putin today. It's probably, you think that's coincidence?
No, I don't think so at all. If you want to soften people up to the idea of Russia good,
right,
then why not return bets on Russia? Like Russia's soccer paid off, Russian ping pong. Now, to be fair, it's a couple of Russian guys playing against each other.
Yeah.
But just going to Russia has paid off for me today.
All right. There's three position battles, according to this email. That's it. We were told that everything is up for competition.
Yeah.
Which we know was coach speak BS, right?
Well, now we know it is. Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if I can guess them. Let me see if I can guess them.
Well, we know the first one was the running back one, so take that off the books.
Yeah.
Because Harry mentioned that.
Number 2, probably the left tackle position, right?
Correct. Malata and Dillard.
Yep. Okay. And 3 is the corner opposite of Big Play Slay.
Avonte Maddox versus Zach McPherson versus a potential free agent signee for the second outside cornerback. You are correct, sir.
Who are they going to sign right now? And here's the thing. Even if they do sign somebody right now and he comes in and wins that position, as difficult as I think it would be, what? Like, doesn't that speak volumes as far as where that position is right now? Like, I'm sorry, no offense to the guy they sign, but you don't usually mine talent that's like starting quarterback or any type level this late into the offseason, right?
Right. I'm trying to see who's out on the market right now.
Nelson still
Steven
out
Nelson.
there?
Yeah,
Nelson's still out there.
Also, Richard Sherman is still out there.
He's still out there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Richard Sherman's still out there.
I mean, could they swing a trade to that team for Ertz?
Well, they have Nickel Roby Coleman.
He's out there?
Yeah. He's still out. He'll stay out there too. He'll stay out there. He did nothing for us last year.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Wow. Right.
No,
I mean, I'm just saying there's really not a whole lot there.
There isn't. I looked at it. There's nobody right now that I wouldn't give more than the minimum that you can give them.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody out there. Cravon LeBlanc's still out there. Jalen Watkins.
He actually made a couple plays for them when he was on the roster.
Yeah.
LeBlanc came out of nowhere.
Jalen Watkins, the brother of Sammy Watkins, is out there. Devontae Busby was on the roster for a little bit.
These are not names that bring much confidence to me, Barrett.
No, not at all. That's about it.
They mocked this position, and I don't even mean like in a mock draft. They scoffed at the notion of drafting a cornerback higher in the 4th round.
Right.
Brian Poole still out there.
Okay.
Played with the Jets. He's okay.
You've got game ready guys out there.
Right.
And look, I think it's a combination where let's say Poole comes in here and wins the job. Yes, it's a statement that Poole is game ready and can play, or at least the coaches think so. But it also is like, all right, we had to get past the guys we had as fast as humanly possible because we have no confidence in them.
Right. To sign basically a scrap heap guy who was available in July.
Correct.
And yet that guy ends up being the guy. It's more of a statement of your roster.
It's more of a statement that, all right, nobody else wanted him, so maybe we should pick him up and allow him to play with us.
Well, I mean, I hope Zach McPherson plays his way into the role.
Well, he possibly could, man. I mean, like I said, with the film that I watched him, like I said, he didn't jump out. I didn't necessarily know he was on the radar until I was watching film my old alma mater. I was watching a Kansas State game because I was watching their quarterback, who's actually from the area.
Yeah,
I said, let me check him out. Yeah. So I was checking him out, and I'm like, well, who is this kid out here playing like this? You know, and he jumped out on me on the film. He jumped out as a guy that's very aggressive. Puts his hands on people, reroutes people, but if he misses, it's hard for him to, you know, have that makeup speed to get back on the route. But, you know, he's good enough. I mean, I think he believes he's good enough with a little coaching that he could be a guy that can come out there and play. I don't know first year playing, but, you know, later on, he could be a valuable asset for us. And he has decent size.
It's true.
So, I mean, I don't know. You know, he's 5'11". He's not the, you know, 5'9" guys we have.
Well, that's like Avonte Maddox is like 5'9".
Right.
Yeah.
And every other corner we have on the roster. At least he's close to being 6 foot.
Right.
Like our biggest DB right now is Michael JAKIB.
Yeah, it ain't good, man.
Right.
Height.
He's 6'1", 195.
It is crazy though, because it seems like it's like a neglected position. Of
like
undervalued.
Yes.
Yeah. And
you
it's
can't
like
continue to do that.
I mean, I don't know. It seems opposite of what it should be. I mean,
but every
with
time
all these
we
good
play
receivers,
right? Every time we play well.
This is a Gal Media property in partnership with JAKIB Media.
And you, my friend, are caught in the middle.
The Middle starts now on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, second hour here, and I did send out the invite there to Parles for overtime because Ryan has to do 12:40 with us. So,
right? We're talking a little U.S. Open with Ballingy.
And I've done my homework here, right? I got a bunch of plays, including some first-round leaders, and one which I don't or can't believe is a long shot that I think you're going to like. All right,
Nice.
Well,
I was on with Chris E-Bomb last night.
Yeah.
On his show, and we broke it down for about 45 minutes. We got the Swing It and Ding It podcast. You can go check those plays on there. So plenty of plays to be had.
All right, look at that. Now, we across the board here have a couple of things beyond that too. I mean, we may even get Ryan to build us a DFS lineup, especially because we built one. What was that, yesterday?
Yeah, how did that work out?
Well, the NBA one, and look, I'm not here to blame anybody, Barrett Brooks, but at the same time,
right?
You know, the Joe Harris, the insertion of Joe. No, the problem was this for a lot of people, and we should mention at some point before we get out of here. Maybe we'll do this at 12:20 before we're joined by Ryan. Is Brendan, the guy who's taken over now for Ron Culver? I actually owe a lot of my NFL DFS success too, and he can explain that coming up in about 20 minutes. But as far as last night is concerned, my goodness, we made a terrible mistake, but it wasn't really our mistake in front of us that we knew to avoid. The rosters got tightened up significantly. You saw that, right, Harry?
Yeah.
Nobody went to the bench. You basically had a 6-man rotation in Milwaukee, and I think even less than that. I don't even know if starters came off the floor outside of James Harden, right, for the net.
Right.
So that kills you when you're trying to work in guys like Bobby Portis and Nick Claxton, because that wasn't happening. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, when Joe Harris is your captain, Barrett.
Yeah.
Looked okay.
Would have been nice to have Jeff Green be the captain.
Well, no, we did. We did. In this lineup, we did have Green be the captain.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, the problem is that we worked in 2 guys in Claxton and Portis to make it work, and they didn't see any action.
Oh, okay.
So we should have worked in hindsight. The guy we should have played was Pat Connaughton. How about that?
Who'd have thought that?
If we had played Patty C. Patty C. You know? If we play, I'm getting the crunch going up here.
Well, we should build one for tonight because you got 2 games tonight. Even though we're not going to want to watch the second game.
No, we're definitely going to build one here.
I mean, who takes up the scoring mantle for Kawhi on that Clippers team tonight? Who tries to, at least?
That's a great question.
I think, look, Paul George has still been playing really well, and especially
31 the other night.
And this is the thing where it's hard because a lot of times in fantasy, not betting so much, but in fantasy, what I've learned, and this is me learning, is that you have to put aside the narrative. Like the whole playoff P thing works in real life, but in fantasy, he's a really good player. Because he plays minutes and he gets a lot of production, especially a lot of usage is what they say. So, yeah, I think Paul George is definitely going to be. But the problem is that, too, is that everybody's going to be on him.
Right.
I think this is a game. You look at Terrence Mann and Morris on this.
Well, can Morris back up that tremendous performance from the previous game?
I think he's – well, look, I think he and Batum are going to have a lot of minutes out there. They're both going to play 30-plus minutes. And from a fantasy standpoint, they're cheap and affordable options. So, yeah, I think, absolutely. I think so.
I mean, they love Terrence Mann, though. They play him a lot. I mean, an awful lot.
He didn't get – I'm trying to look at his minutes last night because I had him in a lineup.
He had 15 minutes last night.
Yeah. That's – again, though, when you're building a lineup, it's all about how many points per minute can you get, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for Mann, now I think the argument is that he'll play more minutes because Kawhi's out.
Right.
So if he plays 20 minutes and I can get 15 fantasy points, that's a pretty good return. It's not ideal, but it's pretty good as far as it's Terrence Mann. It's not, Kawhi Leonard. So I'm going to crunch here using Awesimos.
Is there a curse on Chris Paul? Did Lil B is it Lil B's job to undo a curse?
Oh my goodness! Didn't he set the curse on him to start off?
I don't know. That was Durant.
That was Durant. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Durant got the curse.
The base guy.
Didn't he have one on Harden too at one point?
Yeah,
and then he removed it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, this is a bad sign for everybody else in the league if everybody's healthy on Brooklyn, because you've got two former cursed individuals combining to prove that the curse was a real thing beforehand. And what better way to validate the curse than when you are no longer cursed, you win a title?
Well, yeah, it's like you have the antibodies for the curse.
Exactly.
Once you were cursed and got rid of it, it's sort of like the virus.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Base God curse.
Nothing like the base God.
Fucking dance, man.
Yep.
Barrett Brooks and Harry Mays.
I love it. We don't have anybody cursed, right?
No. Although we did have the Brown curse.
Did we have any? Wait, what?
We had the Brown curse.
Oh,
what? What's that?
Dom
the head
Brown
coach.
curse?
No.
The Brett Brown curse.
Brett Brown curse.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
But we never, this is it. Here's the thing, though. We've just talked about this with Kevin Durant, James Harden, both of these guys. We never had anybody here. What's our curse? We have don't we have that long curse with Ben Franklin or something? Wasn't there something like that?
That was Billy Penn.
Billy Penn. Okay.
Yeah, that was when, there was never a building that was higher than William Penn on top of City Hall. And once that happened, once they started building these tall buildings, they say there was a curse.
Even though the Phillies won the World Series, the Eagles have won a Super Bowl. So that whole thing is out now.
Right.
We've exorcised the demons of the Billy Penn curse.
Correct.
Except
the Flyers. The Flyers have not won since since the large, skyscrapers have been built.
Good thing nobody cares about them.
Oh, yes.
Did they win last night?
What you say?
Did they win last night?
Phillies?
Yeah, they won. They were disguised as the Tampa Bay Lightning last night.
Is that 4 in a row?
I thought you were talking about the Phillies losing out west once again.
Yep.
Once again. No, I think that we haven't really had anything. We haven't had any professional athlete that's had some sort of beef with Lil B and been cursed here, right?
Not that I know of. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. I'm just curious,
No, I mean, who would it be? I mean,
we're good. I think that's fine. The only thing that I would look at is the curse of the process. That's now what I fear could be happening is, everybody has this whole victimization thing going on here. Like, oh, if that happened in Philly, and then fill in the blank. But I do think that there is something about the NBA going out of its way to reward the most blatant of tanks. And look, I didn't have a problem with it. I still don't have a problem with it. But I just think, right, with the most.
Well, what do you mean going out of their way to reward? In what way would the Sixers winning a title represent the NBA going out of their way to reward the tank?
Well, it's because it shows that it worked. It proves that by purposely trying to rig the lottery, Sam Hinkie was right. All right. That's what it is. That's what it proves. At the hashtags, all the parties, the crazy stuff that happened.
So then the NBA, you mean, would go out of their way to prevent them? Okay. All right. That's what I'm.
That's
all right.
and then hence sets in the curse of the process. And again, there's no better curse than one that has you believing that there's no curse. Making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, making it to the NBA Finals, like Chris Paul, his entire career can be looked at as a curse. Never quite making it to that final moment in which he even has an opportunity. We thought this was the year, and probably will be. He'll be back in the Western Conference Finals. I'm just saying that's where I look at if there was ever a curse here in Philadelphia. The Eagles no longer, clearly, but yeah, this whole curse of the process is something to think about. It's not going to be in effect tonight. They're going to manhandle the Hawks. I'm not worried about this round. I'm worried about the next round or two.
Well, it goes back to, tonight, what Tom Byrne was saying is was the previous game, the second half for Embiid, was that just, just a bad half, or was that due to an injury that is now getting worse?
That's just a bad half. It's not a precursor to anything as far as him being playing any worse. He just had a bad. He can't be the great Embiid all the time. You know what I mean? He's carried this franchise for the past year on his shoulders.
Right.
I mean, he's entitled to have a bad game here and there.
Well, he missed 30% of the games this year, so it wasn't all him this year.
Right.
They had the 1 seed.
Now will him getting only second team All NBA
no.
and him watching what Kevin Durant did the previous night motivate him even more?
Maybe the Durant thing, yes, but nobody in their right mind would argue that Joel Embiid is a better defensive center than Rudy Gobert. Look, he's a better basketball player. He's a better scorer. He's a better overall player, and it's not even close. But nobody's covering ground like Gobert, so I don't think you could make an argument that Embiid feels snubbed. Look, if he's using this to his own firepower and creating this
more power to him.
Right, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get off that narrative train at that point if that's the case. I'll back you on the whole Jokic thing if he played more games, and I'll look at why Simmons realistically didn't win the Defensive Player of the Year because of big man. But I don't know. That seems like it's. But again, Embiid looking at Kevin Durant taking over a basketball game. And saying, all right, now look at how the MVP conversation shifts. It's like one night Chris Paul does something and social media says, there's the MVP. Another night Jokic has a triple-double with 20 assists and people say, see, he should have won the MVP. Another night Kevin Durant takes over, drops nearly 50 points with a triple-double, and they say, see, he's the MVP.
Right.
Yeah, I could see Joel Embiid thinking to himself, all right, yeah, tonight's the night. Tonight's the night I reclaim that award for me. But
he doesn't take too kindly to people talking down to him at any point. So he's gonna come back with a vengeance. You saw how he came back when he didn't win the MVP. He came back, had a stellar game. I think we see this, much of the same tonight. He's pissed off right now.
Yeah.
Especially he's looking at Shan right now, F you, Shan. I'm about to show you. I'm about to give it to you. You try to blame it all on him, man.
What? I'm blaming one loss on him?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was 4 for 20.
When you're triple teamed and you're not passing out of it and you're forcing an 18-foot shot, you ain't Patrick Ewing, man.
He's better than Patrick. He's better than Patrick.
Not with the jump shot that night. He wasn't. That's the point. Was selfish, and that led indirectly and then directly led to them losing the game. That's fine.
That's a fair criticism.
Yeah, it's one game in the series.
Yeah.
He's gonna say, "How dare you? How dare you?" After all
I've
I've
let him
done
say
for
it, but I still don't fault Eytan for thinking that because I agree with him.
But and here's another thing too. If he goes out and plays differently and plays well, then there's nothing to say to me. My thing is don't get caught in double and triple teams trying to shoot out of it when you're 0 for whatever. I'm not saying that he stinks or that
that's what shooters do, man.
But
Shooters shoot.
Shooter.
He is.
No.
He's a shooter.
How? How is Joel Embiid a shooter? How is
He averages
Joel Embiid
like 30 points a game. He's a shooter.
He's a scorer.
A scorer. He's not there. He's not knocking down jump shots as his primary. Like Seth Curry's a shooter.
He's 38% from 3-point range.
Yeah, how many takes versus where he's getting the majority of his points? Come on. What is going on here?
My head is getting scrambled. For this.
But
I texted both of you this last night. I know Eytan saw it. Barrett didn't.
No.
I was watching Giannis, take the ball at the top of the key and just go with a full head of steam, like the snort emoji going to the rack. And I'm like, why can't Ben Simmons play like that more often? It just is so
can.
I know he can, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
he can, man.
He went to the free throw line 7 times. Giannis doesn't want to shoot free throws either. He made 4 out of 7.
Well, that's the thing, though. And
that's 4 extra points that Ben could have. 4 extra points that this team could have.
Or it's
Take
3
it to the rack, man.
Could have had 3 extra points in a game in which they lost by 1 possession.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I don't care if I hit free throws or not. I'm gonna keep taking it to the rack. At least we'll be fouling people out.
No way.
He'll be more aggressive.
You're gonna lose games this way. You keep sending Ben Simmons to the line and he shoots 50% from the line. You're gonna lose basketball games that way because you can't afford for the other team to get a full bucket, let alone a 3.
Well, how about him being up there for a 3-point play where he's already made the basket?
Right.
Look, I'm fine with that. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be more aggressive. But what I am saying is if you get what you ask for is a more aggressive Ben getting to the line more, he still is a major liability at the line. And
that needs to change. And that's on him.
Because so what is because you're trading possessions. You're trading 1 point for 3 points at that time.
No, I get that, but I'm saying like that's something that he needs to fix in an offseason.
Freaking lootly.
And to the fact that he hasn't fixed it to this date is inexcusable.
Yeah.
But see, it changes it changes how defenses defend him. Because now he could be at the elbow, each elbow, and there will be nobody even looking at Ben. They sag off on Ben and double team and beat every single time because they know that Ben is not going to do anything once he gets it in the half court. If he's not running in transition, he's just not going to be aggressive. And that's a travesty because they don't care to go get up on him. They'll play back. If he gets the ball and he takes it to the rack, now they'll then have to pick him up because if you get him ahead of steam going to the rack, they're going to have to foul him. They don't mind fouling. But right now, he's just become an offensive liability on the offensive side of the ball. Unless he's aggressive, he's just out there. It's almost like you want him to be a facilitator, but then once he's not facilitating, he's just a guy that's just out there. You know what I'm saying? He's just a guy that's roaming around.
Not accurate though, as far as what he's been doing this series. He's had bad stretches where he hasn't scored, but the offense has still moved. Again, you want to look at when the offense was at its worst in this entire series. The offense was at its worst this entire series, the last 2 quarters. And what was the theme over the last 2 quarters? Tobias Harris absolutely disappeared, couldn't get the basketball, and Joel Embiid was all over the place. So it's to your point in some regard. I'm not disagreeing with you entirely. What I'm saying, though, is that Ben Simmons shouldn't be looked at as the third option for offense. And if you guys keep doing that, you're going to be really disappointed.
I'm not saying it's to be the third option. I'm not saying that. But him taking it to the cup, it then makes him a viable offensive threat. Right now, he is nothing. After he gives the ball up on the first pass and he's not the facilitator, he's just a bump on the log. He's just sitting there. He's either sitting there or he's going for the rebound.
But here's the thing. He's better off, right? He's better off on the floor not going to the free throw line than going to the free throw line. He is historically bad.
And that's sad.
Well, yes, look, I'm not arguing that how sad and
no, I agree with you. I get what you're
Barrett
saying.
has every right, as do you, to be pissed off about this. What I'm saying is I think we're in a catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Yeah.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yes.
Right.
Same
Right.
thing, make you laugh, Barrett, make you cry.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. There it is. Bam.
Ah,
We're live here in the Kristen B. and Cooley Law Studios. If you know someone who suffered a personal injury, contact Brian Fritz directly, a tough lawyer for a tough town. Sponsored here by Pure Bull Beef Jerky. Get yours now. Go to steersnacks.com. Hit us up. Leave us a like. Make sure you're subscribed to the JAKIB Media YouTube page, and we're back across the board on Sports Map Radio as well.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
In the Wildwoods, our free beaches are spacious and welcoming with plenty of room to spread out. Your seat will be waiting for you when you're ready to visit. The Wildwoods, creating cherished family memories for generations.
Attention women of South Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Sign up right now with Our Lady NRA instructor Nayara Andrzak, who will teach you gun safety as part of this 3-hour safety class, which is being held at Delaware Valley Sports Center in Philadelphia. For information, drop an email to info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. That's info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. Learn the fundamentals at Delaware Valley Sports Center. You can't miss.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Book It.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
Uh-oh, Barrett.
What's up?
Odds on Damian Lillard's next team if traded. Eytan, you going to take a piece of this?
What's that?
Bet Online has odds on Damian Lillard's next team if he is traded.
No, I'm
who's
not
in the lead?
Anything global.
Can you guess who's in the lead?
Don't say the Sixers.
Knicks.
Yes, the Knicks.
The Knicks?
Plus 250. Who's the second team?
A trade.
Dallas.
They're not listed.
My guess is, boy, this would be interesting, but they could do it with all the salary coming off the books. My guess would be the Lakers.
They are fourth at plus 350.
Sixers?
Let's say Celtics.
Sixers plus 275.
Wow.
Followed by the Heat, Lakers, Clippers, and Celtics.
So that'll be 4 max contracts?
Yeah.
4 max contracts.
Well, Embiid's about to hit the Supermax.
Yeah.
Embiid's eligible now for the Supermax with everything that he put down.
You got to get that to him, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I otherwise, what's he going to do? He's negotiating it. But here's the thing, like, it's the good and the bad. You can't afford, and this is where I'll definitely concede and say it's not even close. Like, yes, Tom Byrne illustrated my concern here about when your go-to is a big, and it's same thing with Denver, where even and especially without having Jamal Murray, major exposed there. But with the Sixers, even more so, the concern about not having another outside of Tobias Harris guy that can truly put the ball on the floor and get his own. And even Harris is not somebody you really want to count on long-term and long stretch for that. That's where, remember, there used to be this conversation, whose team is it all? No. They have fully made a commitment to this being Joel Embiid's team and the team being built around Joel Embiid. They're trying to make it work with Simmons, but at no point would you sacrifice Joel Embiid for a Ben Simmons-led team unless you could get back Damian Lillard or somebody like that. And even then, I think that it's a pretty big risk. I don't want to get rid of Joel Embiid. And I know that the guy could go down at any moment.
Yeah, I know.
So would you rather have Lillard, Simmons, or Lillard, Embiid?
I don't think you can get Lillard Embiid. Like, I don't think that you're able to trade. First off, if you're going to trade for somebody like Lillard, you're going to have to give, from a talent standpoint, somebody better than Simmons. And the only person that they have definitively better than Simmons right now would be Embiid.
Right.
Unless you're willing to give up Simmons and Harris and then get something else back.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think people around the league look at Ben a lot more favorable than we do.
Well, then you two do, absolutely. But I don't think that, and you're right, but at the same time, this is where I'm going to be more on your side about this, which is scoring is such a premium.
Right.
Like Rudy Gobert, same thing with Gobert. Gobert is looked at much better around the league than I think the average fan who's just watching their own team. But at the same time, he's not going to net as much value as a healthy Embiid or even Jokic who can score.
Right. Are you betting the College World Series?
No. Should I be?
No. Well,
he said, "Should I be?"
Just saying. I can't believe you're betting Russian table tennis, but not College World Series.
Look, it's all about finding a niche and attacking numbers. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not locked into anything here. I'm finding a niche and I'm attacking the number. So I'm finding a guy who has dropped the first set, who has won the second set, and now taking him at plus. All three of these things have to work in order for me to place the wager. I'm not just randomly setting my alarm for 3 a.m.
No, I mean, you're in gaming.
Shan, you set your alarm at 3 a.m. to watch.
No, I said I'm not.
No, he said he's not. He sets his alarm at like 5:30 for a 5:45 hit on Fox.
Oh, do you?
5:45 tomorrow a.m. I'll be on. They always get me after these late games, too.
Now, what do you wear? Like, do you wear special outfits, like special get-ups, like Sixers-related stuff, or what do you do?
No, I usually wear, because I'll still wear the collar. Every now and again, I'll wear a T-shirt. Like, I used to wear the Mays and Eytan shirt, but now I need the Brooks Mays and Eytan shirt to wear for that. So if I can get a middle shirt done, then I'll gladly wear the middle. But for the most part, I was wearing these Huntington Valley shirts, hoping to get a sponsorship from the club. But that ain't happening.
At least get free golf, huh?
That's something, some kickback. But that
I don't think they need any more members.
No,
to be honest with you.
Although one of the pros, went over to one of the marketing people and said, "Hey, look, it took a screen cap of me."
Mm-hmm.
John Allen, his name, great guy, smart guy, and knows the game at all, and took a screen cap. Said, "See, look at this. He's wearing a Huntington Valley shirt. We should get him more gear and stuff."
That's like I walked in on Sunday morning or Saturday morning or Sunday morning. To the bar, to go to the locker room before I played, and they were watching Inside Golf, and I was on as I walked in, and they're all like, "Hey!" I'm like, geez, I just went to the locker room.
Did you hit them up for any gear? You could have said, "Look, you could have given me a blazer with a crest of club on it, and you would have worn it, right? Like a really nice hand-ticked blazer, something along those lines."
We don't even wear those over there.
No? I thought it was a little more. I guess I gave you a little more credit than you should be.
No, it's like a VFW with a golf course.
Is that it? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, look, you got some pretty big wigs over there. Jeff Moore, a guy running iHeartRadio, isn't he there with you? All right. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Now, Ryan Ballagy is going to join us coming up. And I don't know if you're out there moving that co-crack, but you should be.
What?
All right. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Barrett. If you're not out there hustling that co-crack,
Yeah,
you should be.
I took him in the first round.
Yep.
Plus 5,000.
Jason Co-crack. You're not on that you're not up on that co-crack? Telling you, man, this guy right here plus 5,000. We're also going to have to build this lineup. Shot at 500K, 100K to the first.
Mm.
All right. Now, this is a little bit more intricate here because we're going to have a bunch of different spots, 8 spots. This is, the 2 games here.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye on that.
What about Reggie Jackson?
Yeah, he fell off the planet last game.
Yeah, I know, but now Kawhi's out.
It's not bad. All right, do you want to? I'll give you the high. You know what? He's popping up in a lot of lineups.
Is he?
Yeah. What is going on here? See, this is what I don't get. Is the lineups that I'm getting crunched are dominant for the Clippers. I don't think the Clippers win that game. They play at such a slow pace. I don't necessarily know if I want to trust guys. Now, Zubac is in there as well, and we'll see how the starting lineup is impacted. But this is what I have for tonight's optimal lineup. You ready?
Go.
Bogey at the point. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Jackson at the 2. Tobias Harris at the 3.
Which bogey are you talking about?
I apologize.
Atlanta's
bogey.
Okay.
Yes, they're both in action tonight. I apologize. Yes.
Yeah.
Bogdan. So him at the point. Reggie Jackson at the 2. Tobias Harris at the 3. Marcus Morris at the 4. Zubac at the 5. Paul George at the guard. Batum, George is gonna be heavy chalk, but that's fine. Batum at the forward, who I imagine he and Morris going to be some chalk as well. And then Donovan Mitchell as the flex spot. So notable names left off the optimal lineup. You can start right away with Joel Embiid.
Wow.
And Trae Young, who apparently is a game time decision. Really?
Jesus, come on.
There's
Stop
no way
this.
Trae Young isn't playing tonight, right?
How much tape is he going to have on that shoulder tonight?
Right, exactly.
I tell you, under 27.5 for Young. Not bad. Juice over. I like it. All right, Ryan Ballingy next. We'll talk some golf, and then hopefully Jeff Parles and OT, all here on the middle. I don't know, man. I got to get to a couple of lineups here before Embiid even pops up. Capella. Oof. How about this one? Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Huerter, Marcus Morris, Danilo Gallinari, Joel Embiid, Paul George, Batum, Zubac. That's not terrible, actually.
We got breaking news here on this Chris Paul thing. According to Jalen Rose, he says that Chris Paul has been vaccinated and that he doesn't anticipate him missing more than 1 game.
Okay.
He said that today on ESPN, apparently.
Now, is it like, man, I talked to Chris and I know, or is this just him throwing something out here?
I would think that he talked to somebody. He was not just throwing it out there. I mean, wouldn't Greeny press him on that, on Get Up?
No. I've seen plenty of people on all these networks just randomly throw shit out there. And it's like, is anybody going to follow up on that? And then they just go into the next segment and then they clip that and put it out there on social for people to react to.
Wow, that's terrible.
It's disgraceful.
That is awful.
But how's in the protocol if he got vaccinated?
Well, you can still be a carrier technically with the vaccine. It just significantly limits anything that would happen as a result of you catching.
Well, apparently Rahm was vaccinated too, but he didn't get to have the 14-day window after the vaccine.
Right.
He caught the virus within that time frame or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're going to test positive because you have the vaccine anyways. So I don't understand how is he in the protocol?
You test positive for antibodies.
Right, exactly.
But not for the virus itself automatically. So you can technically be a carrier for it with the virus, with the vaccine. It's just complete. Like, again, it's very difficult to get it with the vaccine. On top of that, even if you have it, it's going to limit it like 95%. And that's just, people are going to differentiate depending on what they see or read or hear anyway. But it's not like, oh my God, once you have it, you can't carry it. That's why we've seen some people like the Yankees, for example. Remember, they had 9 guys.
Yeah,
positive. So that's all. But again, this was only about missing 10 days anyway, and possibly the first game of the Western Conference Finals. It's not like Chris Paul is going to miss a ton of time. Really, the big injury to think about right now across the board is, I think, Kyrie Irving first, and then Kawhi Leonard second, and then Joel Embiid's just overall health as a third, right?
What about Harden? He ain't right.
Yeah.
Nope.
But he was back at least.
See that back? That's a superficial back, though, man.
Yeah, but here's the thing: like, he didn't look like he couldn't move.
This is
He didn't have any jump.
No.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
No, he didn't.
O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios.
Up and down, no,
Here's
but
Eytan
lateral he looked.
Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, we are awaiting here Ryan Ballantyne. And we will also look at, now I didn't hear back from Parl. I don't know what's going on. Now, apparently, Ben Simmons is caught inserting himself into DMs.
No.
Yeah.
With Jenner?
No. Someone I've never heard of.
Who is it?
Someone named Carly.
Not Megan Thee Stallion.
No. I don't think this is a person who has nuclear. I don't know. I probably have muted this person. Who knows? I mute a lot of people that are just retweeted into my timeline, tweeting corny stuff. Nope, not muted. Okay, so that's fine. Apparently, this is Carly at Nuclear Carly.
Nuclear Carly.
Yeah. I laugh at my own jokes. Philly sports fan, political, married mom, Gritson, she/her, New Jersey, 5106 followers.
So she's a mom.
Yes. And I don't know. Look, apparently this is
what?
Yeah. I don't think this is really
What?
Ben Simmons.
That just doesn't sound right.
Wait a second.
Right.
What are you talking about?
I'm just letting you know what's happening here.
He's going after some MILF
No,
in Jersey?
No. It's all a joke. All right.
Oh,
I think it is, at least. Look, we got more important stuff. Ryan Ballantyne's with it. He doesn't care about Ben Simmons sliding into some random New Jersey mom's DM, right? Ryan's in the house.
Hey, what's up?
You can follow Ryan on Twitter at Ryan Ballantyne, at Golf Newsnet is the account for the Golf Newsnet. And again, one of the best, most comprehensive places to go across the world following the sport of golf. So Ryan, as always, brother, we appreciate you, man.
he's heading back inside.
Okay.
Hey, boys, sorry.
Yeah.
No.
I'll find a better spot.
There we go. RB, how's it going, bro?
Good. How are you boys?
Doing great.
Good.
I got one right out of the gate because I'm just curious to see if you think this U.S. Open is going to be a redux of what we saw, at least as how to attack the golf course, what we saw some players do successfully back at Winged Foot.
Yeah, I think bomb and gouge can work here. I mean, the Kikuyu rough is meant to be difficult, hard to extricate yourself. It's not all of the surface. I mean, there's some bent, there's some POA in there. There's kind of a mixture of grasses at work, but the rough's going to be deep, it's going to be thick, and it's going to be hard to really advance the ball all that far. But week to week on the PGA Tour, when they do the Farmers Insurance Open, they play 3 rounds of the 4 at this golf course. Scoring's difficult anyway, so just ratchet it up 2, 3, 4 extra strokes because of the USGA ramping up the greens to 13.5 on the stimp. I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, I think you're either going to have to kind of be a fairway finder and just kind of march your way down the golf course, making pars and birdies where you can, or you're going to have to kind of do the Bryson method, hit it as far as you can. Hopefully it lands in some short stuff and try to get yourself to the green.
So let's look at that strategy. And there are going to be a couple of guys not named Bryson that I think jump out that can take advantage of this. And let's start with, I think, the obvious and maybe not so obvious to the person who's not paying so much attention, but I'm not paying a ton of attention, and it's obvious to me, and that's Victor Hovland.
Yeah, I like Victor Hovland's game a lot. I mean, I think it lines up well for major championship golf. It lines up well for more difficult golf tournaments. I think he could do really well this week. I mean, he played Wells Fargo, which is Quail Hollow, a major championship venue that was set up to be kind of U.S. Open light. That was supposed to be thick, really long, hard to play, finished T3 there. I like his game for this kind of setup. The question mark is his chipping. He's just like Colin Morikawa. He's just not, for whatever reason, a great short game artist. So he's got to be able to come up big in those types of spots this week above what he would typically do.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man. I'm not the golf guy. I let these guys take the golf question, but I will say this: Brooks and DeChambeau, they rumble. I want to see that more so than anything. Is there any chance those guys team up this weekend? That's all I want to know.
I was kind of disappointed the USGA didn't give the people what they wanted. I think they should have done it. It's Bryson Brooks the first 2 days, and maybe throwing in Patrick Reed just to make it extra petty for all three of them. It would have been great, I think. But they didn't want to give it in. So hopefully, if it happens, it's on a Saturday, Sunday with a late tee time. It's not the guys who are T47 going off together. That it's something. It means something. I think it would be hilarious to watch. I think they're both in each other's heads in different ways. But I think right now the balance is in Brooks's favor. So if you had a ton of San Diegans just yelling Brooksy out at Bryson for 18 or 36, he might about lose it at the end of the round.
Maybe if they both missed the cut, they could set up a ring over on the North Course on one of the greens and have them go at it, like right before, NBC comes on with their regular coverage. They get like a 15-minute, fight.
No joke. I mean, I'm at the beach in the Outer Banks, and there were three, 19, 20-year-old kids. They set up a ring in the sand and are doing Oklahoma drills out there before we came in for lunch. It's like, what? So you might have an idea there. You might be appealing to the younger folks.
So Ryan, I'm curious. You mentioned as far as the grouping and really the first day, and I think that's where we always try and take advantage of first round leaders. And I'm looking at a couple of guys who, as you mentioned, could be catered or at least a little better catered to this course, and also looking at where they're teeing off. So Johnny Vegas, for example, plus 125,000 first round leader in the second group in the morning. Seems like I can't not place a unit on that, right? Hold on.
I mean, he has a good course history with the Farmers Insurance Open. He plays it pretty well. He is kind of prone to going low and then doing almost nothing the rest of the way. So if you're going to get him, why not do it first round leader? I think that's a really interesting play. I was looking at that today, trying to put together a model, just trying to find Lanto Griffin, another guy, likes the Farmers Insurance Open as a tournament. I could see him put up a good one and then just fade from view very quickly. But I really like that Johnny Vegas play.
Is there anything that stands out to you as far as a make or miss cut on this field?
I'm almost tempted to take Bryson to miss.
Yes.
I'm very tempted.
I love it.
I just think the psychology of it right now is in his head, and he's trying to play it off really cool. And this happens every time someone gets in Bryson's head, and he goes, "Oh, no, it's not a big deal. It doesn't bother me." It bothers him. I know it bothers him. So I think he's coming out this week trying to prove something that he doesn't really have to prove as the defending champion, but I love him as a miscut bet.
I'm telling you, you're going to get great value too on that because everybody is loving him. He's going to be such a chalk play, DFS bet across the board. You know it. There's going to be, I imagine, I don't even have it in front of me, but I imagine it's got to be at least plus 120, if not higher, of a return, right?
I would think it's probably in the plus 250, plus 300 range right now.
Even better.
Wow. Well, there's another local.
And the thing you have to keep in mind about the U.S. Open, it's top 60 and ties make the cut. It's not top 65. So you get an extra 5 places to help you get someone to miss the cut.
Right. There's another local guy that plays this course very well, and I think he's got a good U.S. Open type of game. Not getting a lot of attention, especially to win it. He's an 85-1 shot. But do you like any of the derivatives on a Charlie Hoffman?
I kind of do, and he's playing good golf.
Yeah.
And he actually plays this tournament pretty well, the Farmers Insurance Open pretty well. Now, historically, he has played the North Course obviously better. Everyone does. But he's playing good golf. He played really well at the PGA Championship. He seems to have reinvigorated himself this year. Last year did not play up to his standard whatsoever, but it seems to have kind of found something. I don't know if I love him in anything more than maybe a top 10, top 20 style bet.
Right.
But I do like the value on Charlie Hoffman. I do feel like he's kind of gone under the radar because so many people are thinking about the scorecard length, and they're thinking Bombers are going to win this thing. But the USGA said they're not going to make this thing play longer than 7,400 yards pretty much any day. So this is not that long of a golf course.
He's plus 225 for a top 20 on DraftKings. And you were talking about DeChambeau, plus 275 to miss the cut.
I'm telling you.
That's value.
Yeah.
That's real value for a guy who's seemingly really in and out week to week on the PGA Tour. He is not a consistent player.
Can I throw two at you here real quick as far as top 20s are concerned? But real quick, just as far as a general perception of this specific tournament, and I know that it changes as far as where they're playing, but you don't really, and this is my assessment that I always defer to you on, but this is a star-driven tournament, right? Where the majority of people who win the U.S. Open are household names. So I imagine that makes it even more difficult to mine somebody. Forget plus 125,000, just somebody in like the mid-range as far as winning this.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like this tournament and the Masters get the most public action of the four majors. I mean, at least in this country. Overseas, obviously, it's the Open Championship. But the PGA Championship doesn't get the same kind of public action as these two majors do, just for whatever reason. So I think it's really hard to get some value. And it makes it even harder this week because you have a known venue. So someone like Tony Finau, who he's not going to win this week, but I'll be darned if I don't have a top 10 on him because he basically is a lock to be in the top 20. So I'm willing to risk that he's going to be in the top 10. He just has a great record in this tournament.
What's that, about plus 188 or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's something. You know, it's not a lot of money. You're not making a 10-1 here,
right,
on a top 10 bet. But I still think you can you have to kind of grind your way to a profit this week. Unless you get a freak accident at like Phil winning the PGA, you're probably going to get someone 30-1 or less that wins, and you're probably going to get a rando who's the first round leader. So you're going to really be throwing darts for that. So I think in a week like this, you look at matchups, top 10s, top 20s, and that's how you get your profit.
Yep.
We need real quick. We need the Brooks custom prop. And I don't mean Brooks like Brooks Koepka. I mean the Barrett Brooks custom prop, which is what are the odds? And they have to be ridiculously, insanely high, Ryan. But the odds in which we would forget the USGA, but due to circumstance, that final pairing on Sunday, and they don't even need to be at the top, but just a final pairing on Sunday with Brooks and Bryson.
Oh, man. I don't really have a lot of belief in Bryson this week.
I know you just picked him to
I don't either.
I think Brooks has something in mind for this week. I mean, this is his jam, with a chip on his shoulder to get mad at everybody and play some good golf. And he was straight garbage at the Palmetto Championship last week. So this is exactly what he does when he plays well in majors. Plays horrible the week before, and then all of a sudden he's T3 through 54 holes. So I would think it's probably plus 25,000 to get him in the final group. But it would be if you really believed in all the hype of that, I would bet him to finish 1-2 in an exacta. And see if you could get a good number of that. You probably get 20,000 on that if you were going to get him finish 1-2.
He was garbage in that final round at Kiowa too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that is a trend, by the way. I mean, the last 3 or 4 times he's had a chance to put one away, add to that 4 major tally, he has backed off pretty hard on Sunday. So I'm not saying he can't win a 5th major. He obviously has the game to get himself there a lot, but the last few times he has not been the aggressor that he was the first 4 times that he won.
I took Koepka.
Hold on, Harry, real quick. Hold on, real quick. We're going to break on the network. Still live on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. It's the middle. Go ahead, Harry.
I took Koepka in the matchup over DeChambeau, plus 105. And one of the other matches I want to run by you, I took Brandon Grace over Bubba Watson.
Yeah, I really like Grace this week.
Mm-hmm.
Good kind of course fit. I mean, I do something every week where I kind of look at top 25 finish, average, what your breakdown is, how you gain strokes as a player in the 5 quadrants, 5 categories. And Brandon Grace lines up really well as somebody who should play this course very nicely. He's a good U.S. Open pass, played pretty well at Kiowa, and he's found something again this year.
Ryan, I'm going to give you 2 plays, top 20 plays that I like. One, I think everybody likes, but I'm still going to take the value. Harry's been talking about him now since the field opened up, and that again is Kokrat at plus 220 as a top 20 play. The other one that I really like, and maybe this will be riding high off of that Hudson Swapper top 20 last week, but Chan Kim at plus 1,600 to sneak in top 20. Your thoughts on either or both?
If you're going to go for someone for overseas, I really like Ryo Ishikawa for top 20. When he had PGA Tour membership, you go back to 2012, 2014, top 15 finishes in the Farmers Insurance Open. He's coming off of wins in Japan. Yes, he plays very poorly over here relative to his star level there, but I love him this week as a top 20 bet. I think he's a really interesting value. I would take him over Chan. That's one of the ones I was looking through the research today where I was like, this name just popped out at me thinking, where did this come from? But it's in the data. I mean, it's there. So I think he's a really interesting top 20.
I'd love to hear Mad Dog Russo say his name.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Here's the problem, though, right? You say you said Ishikawa, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Now, this is the problem that I have is I slammed the top Asian prop, Hideki Matsuyama, who should be there, who should be playing well in this tournament. At plus, I got plus money, Ryan, at plus 125 for Matsuyama as the top Asian. That seemed a little off. I'm more confident in him in both Im and Kim. But now with your long shot here in Ishikawa, I'm a little concerned. I might have to sweat this out.
I mean, Matsuyama's got a good Farmers Insurance record, a couple of top 15 finishes in the last 3 years. So he knows what he's doing on this golf course. I think he will play pretty well. And that you're getting plus money on the reigning Masters champion to be the top Asian player, I think you almost have to take that. But I feel like, again, like Ishikawa just kind of randomly shows up every once in a while, plays okay, and that's on a golf course like this that he's seen before. And if it were just a random every 7 years major course he'd never seen before, I wouldn't even think about this. But because he has seen this course and he seems to play best when he feels comfortable, which is in Japan, if he feels comfortable here, I kind of like him.
Awesome.
I took that Sung Jae Im plus 125 for a top 40.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
He is in the wilderness right now.
I know.
have no idea what's going on with him. He's lost his confidence in his short game, and it's hurting him badly.
Ryan, we appreciate you, brother. We know
great stuff.
A couple of days coming up. So, again, at Ryan Ballingy is how you follow him on Twitter, at Golf Newsnet for thegolfnewsnet.com. And as Harry and I know you guys are talking on the Swinging and Dang It podcast, so there's a lot of golf and there's a lot of ways to make money. So do you have a sneaky DFS play at all? I mean, we've named a bunch of guys out here. So like Ishikawa, even if it's Kim that we talked about.
Suh?
Okay.
Justin Suh is we do a trending model every week. I mean, he's a great player. He's going to be a good pro in about 3 years. But he is so erratic. It's really hard for me to like him a lot. I guess if I were going to go someone kind of reach into the 6,000s, it's not Ryo Ishikawa. I had a really hard time loving someone this week in the 6,000s doing this for our DraftKings article. And just couldn't get to someone really, really loved. But if I'm going to kind of pull down, I'll pull up who I liked in the Russell Henley is kind of interesting to me. Wilco Niederbier, I always say his name wrong, but Wilco is a great price of all, about 5,000 yards off the tee.
Wilco Nienaber.
Because, I'm always going to butcher that. But South African kid who is going to hit it 360, 370 off the tee. If he can just keep it straight, he's going to make the cut. And he could be a really 4 rounds at sub 7,000 in a major. I think you can get 4 rounds out of him, maybe even a top 25 if he just keeps it on the planet.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Ryan.
it, brother.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Great work for you, bro.
Ryan Ballantyne, again, at Ryan Ballantyne, at Golf Newsnet, egolfnewsnet.com. We've got some interesting news developing here in the NBA that we'll spend some time on coming up next. You think it was just tonight? Well, I might have to stand corrected here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this could be a problem. Now, I'm trying to get in on the series, but a lot of you can't even bet on the Western Conference right now. That's how bad things are. Nope.
Wow.
We're back with overtime coming up next. And we'll see you all on SportsMap Radio tomorrow.
Football in Philadelphia is a lifestyle, a passion from birth, and a personal responsibility to know the game. Boo when necessary. And think about E-A-G-L-E-S every second of every minute of every hour of every day. Birds 365 was created for you. Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Birds 365. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network. Watch it live on YouTube.
All right, overtime here on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. Leave us a like. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It is brought to you by Pure Bull Beef Jerky. Get yours now. Go to steersnacks.com. And we always broadcast live from the Fritz and Bean Cooley Law Studio. If you know someone who suffered a personal injury, contact Brian Fritz directly, a tough lawyer for a tough town. And Kawhi Leonard, it looks like, has suffered a torn ACL. So that's it.
Oh, my God.
I hate to do it.
Wow.
And look,
oh man,
the Jazz or the Clippers, I don't think, here's the thing, healthy, you would have a ridiculous time beating the Phoenix Suns. Now, we are joined by Book It's Jeff Parles, VSiN's Jeff Parles. You can see this guy everywhere, at Jeff Parles on Twitter, of course, and he's rocking the hat. He has fired Joey B as the official odds maker.
Now, what color is that? A teal? What is that?
No, this is blue. This is Carolina blue.
Oh, okay.
So the blue category hits. I would imagine that there might have even been no odds on blue because I don't think I've ever worn a blue hat on the show.
No, you haven't.
Teal was 6-1 according to Joey B.
Well, again, look. There are no hard feelings towards Joey B, but when a casino or people on here are trying to at least not get destroyed by the public, you at least have to know what the situation is. For this is a chill program. This is
right.
I could wear a hat. I could come in with an NBA jersey. You guys would love it. It would be totally cool. I came on VSiN with a hat. I would probably lose a day of pay. It's not the same situation. So, look, there's no hard feelings. But, look, at some point, that the sports book, the fictional sports book that's being run on these high hat odds, at some point you're going to go broke. And those odds from Saturday, it caused the casino to go broke. And when that happens, heads have to roll. So, look, no hard feelings for Joey B. And maybe it was just because he had too many pina coladas in Hawaii, but enough was enough. The house is just getting killed too badly.
Last time I saw this beating was when I tried to clear $1,000 out of my Barstool account, and they told me, sorry, Kruger no here.
Wow. Well, Eytan just announced it before we brought you on about the injury to Kawhi, that he's out now with an ACL. What do you see as far as the landscape for the NBA playoffs, given that and the Chris Paul situation? We got injuries. We got injuries everywhere.
Well, I mean, look, this morning it basically has been a 3 weeks worth of news has come out before it even has hit 1 o'clock on the East Coast, and heck, it's still 2 hours until the afternoon here. The Kawhi news obviously is horrible. That series is now over, assuming Donovan Mitchell can stay healthy. Unless if Paul George finds his Indiana form from 7-8 years ago when they were playing the Heat, I don't see how the Clippers can realistically compete in this series without Kawhi. And again, the reporting's been kind of odd on this because it's an ACL injury was what I saw. I don't know if the new report said it's a tear, which obviously if that's the case, then see ya. That's 9 months at least for Kawhi if it's a tear. But look, it's just hard to envision the Clippers winning that series now. And look, the CP3 stuff, what that guy's breaks in the postseason have just been so horrible throughout his career. Obviously, the hammy, the year they should have beat Golden State in the Western Conference Finals. Earlier this year, it looked like there's going to be another one of those with the shoulder. Instead, now it's a COVID positive test. It seems like it's a breakthrough COVID positive test, which is even more unlucky since that's a less than a 0.5% occurrence in the country at this point. So just absolutely horrible luck. And you hope CP3 can get through it quickly. You'd see him in 10 days. And maybe the Clippers push Utah to 7 and CP3 only misses a game or two, which in all honesty, Harry, if it's Utah, game 1, game 2 in Utah, even if CP3 plays, those are games Phoenix was going to be an underdog anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it's the minimum 10 days missed for CP3 with that COVID positive.
Looking at the East and the West, what are the odds of right now that the East wins it all? And they've got to be substantially higher now, especially with LeBron being out.
Well, so Barrett, the Nets have been favored. We had a very odd circumstance earlier this week where the Nets were the favorite to win the NBA title, but they were an underdog in their series against Milwaukee, which I don't think I've ever seen that before. But it just, again, you got to keep in mind, a lot of these odds are just based off of the liability that books have built up throughout the year, and the Nets have obviously just been bet. And before the Kyrie injury, who the hell was stopping them? No one was stopping them. And now, I mean, last night it took a virtuoso performance from KD to get that win last night, and Jeff Green having the best offensive game he's had probably in a decade. But right now, Barrett, look, no one has odds up on the NBA championship because of the injury to Kawhi and the CP3 positive test. Right now, Brooklyn's a -140 to win the East, which, it's probably about right because I think they'll find a way to win one of the next two against Milwaukee. And that was not Joel's knee finally looked like it was finally bothering him in game 4. And I still think they have enough to beat Atlanta. I still think the Sixers are much better than the Hawks are. But in the series against Brooklyn, if Embiid is hampered and Durant is not, even if Harden is injured and Kyrie's not playing or playing at less than 100%, that's just a hard ask for the Sixers to beat the Nets in a series if Embiid's knee is really starting to balk.
I'm telling you, this thing right now, you can't even bet the West. And
That's not up.
No. But here's the thing: like Chris Paul, that's not an injury. Chris Paul is going to be back, and this is what I was saying right before we went to you, Jeff, which is a lot of us had the Suns beating a healthy Jazz and a healthy Clippers team before all this came down. So it doesn't change anything for me that the Suns are going to be in the NBA Finals.
The only way that changes is if I would imagine, since it sounds like CP3 was fully vaccinated, that he is symptomatic, and that's why he even got the test. But look, it's just one of those where if he can play, even if he misses the first two games, I think it kind of goes back to what I just said before. Even if he misses the first two games and it's Utah's going to be a favorite in those first two games. Wouldn't shock me if Utah got out 2-0 anyway if CP3 was playing, regardless of health. And you'd imagine he'd be able to get back for game 3 based off the way the calendar is going to work. And I agree with you. I still think Phoenix, as of right now, they are the biggest competition of Brooklyn still. They still are. And they're very deep. They're great defensively. And Devin Booker's a star, too. So it's not like CP3's their only star. They still have a bona fide all-star in Book there. So I agree with you. I still think Phoenix is coming out of the West. And again, as long as CP3 doesn't miss more than that mandatory 10 to 14 days.
All right, good question coming from the stream, and then I got one for you for the
real
College
quick,
World
because
Series.
I'm gonna have to, unless our EP here, Xander, can end things. I'm gonna have to handle something with my wife real quick.
All
I
right,
don't think she's going into labor, but I'll let you know if she does.
Does the P stand for Parles or Puma on the hat?
Oh, this is Puma, but I mean, you can do whatever anyone wants.
Yeah, okay.
But it's a Puma hat. I mean, look, see, now you get my hat here, but
right.
Look, these hats are pretty good, and I usually don't like adjustable hats, but this one actually fits pretty nicely.
Okay. Now, I don't know what we're doing to finish this, but the College World Series, is any interest from you outside of Vanderbilt? There's not a lot of value there. Is there any play down the board that
I mean, Vandy's so much better than everybody
Yeah.
else. I mean, when you have legitimately two guys that should be top 5 picks in the MLB draft in your rotation, you're going to be pretty difficult to beat in a double elimination tournament like the College World Series is. They could definitely caught a break from Arkansas bowing out as the #1 overall seed to NC State over the weekend.
Yeah.
Down the board, Arizona's the only one that's intriguing. They're about 12-1. I'm kind of surprised they're that far down the board. They're pretty damn good. But I think Vandy's going to win this thing. But again, it's baseball. It's college baseball. Anything. I mean, we've seen Coastal Carolina win a title in the last 5 years. We've seen Fresno State in the last decade as basically one of the last teams in the tournament winning the College World Series. Wild things can happen in Omaha.
No doubt. Now, I don't know what if Eytan's coming back.
No, he's taking care of business. So at this point, we got go ahead and shut it down. Parles, we appreciate you, bro.
By the way, Harry, but I
Yeah.
still have one question though.
Yeah.
The tomorrow, obviously the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Who are you on?
Well, I've on a lot of different guys. I got a lot of matchups working. As far as a winner, I usually don't get involved in that until Saturday morning. After 2 rounds. But it's a couple of guys that I really like. Victor Hovland for some reason. I think that he could actually pull in some value there at 25 plus 2,500. Koepka in a top 10 doesn't give you a whole lot, but I think he's going to show up too. I can't pick him to win, but I'm taking him over DeChambeau in a matchup. But I got a lot of stuff working, man. Tons.
The guy this week is our guy Patrick Reed, who everybody loves to hate.
I love him,
but he won there earlier this year in the regular tournament that's played at Torrey Pines. The only difference is one round is played at the North Course, which is not being utilized at all in this U.S. Open. But Patrick Reed's the one guy I look at. I grabbed him top 20. There was a plus 105 out here that was pretty fortunate. Top 20, grabbed them top 10 as well, over $2.
Yeah.
And look, if you can get any prices that are good on Tony Finau top 20, guys, he's going to finish in the top 20 and not win. That's his requirement in majors.
That's exactly. I think he's only plus 188 for a top 10.
You know what? I still think he'll probably get there.
Yeah.
It's just what he is.
Yep. All right, Jeff, we appreciate it, man. Great stuff,
Thank
and
you,
good
guys.
luck with all your plays.
Thank you, guys. See you guys next week.
All right, bro. All right, Barrett. We'll see you tomorrow.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and